Hello, ministry entrepreneurs. We are very close to being halfway through the Wisdom series. Today is day 13 and we're on Proverbs chapter 13. I hope you guys have been enjoying this and diving into it for yourself and pulling out these things. There's so much to gain. We're probably going to do this through a couple of months, just new videos, because there's so much to mine, and feel like we're skipping through things and going over things, but there's so much here. So we hope that not only is what we're saying and what we've pulled out encouraging and good for you, but also what you've learned and what you're hopefully sharing in the group has been, and learned in the group is good.
And we also just want to keep it concise, and we
That's
say
true.
concise, but we want you guys to get the nuggets, but we don't want to bog you down with everything.
Yeah, we're not doing a sermon here. Just it's short. The wisdom is short.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that was great. It's a good, yeah. Maybe we'll do a nope. I'm not gonna say maybe we're not gonna do that, but these are good. These videos are good. Okay, so let's dive into Proverbs chapter 13. So much here. I like starting with verse 3. It says, "Those who control their tongue will have a long life. Opening your mouth can ruin everything." That's a real thing. Shucks. I'm gonna read that again. Those who control their tongue will have a long life. Opening your mouth can ruin everything. And that is so true. It doesn't matter. I'm more known for like a quiet temperament. Say, I mean, I know like our goal here is to talk, so you probably can't tell that. She's probably like, she talks a lot, but I'm normally not a talker very much. But it doesn't matter. Like whether you're known to talk a lot or be more forthcoming with your words, or more like me where it's not always talking necessarily. It's still the discipline, because it only takes one time for like discipline to be pulled back, or self-control to be pulled back. And I think that's very important, especially when you're a communicator, and whether that's on the ministry side, you're a leader that communicates in ministry, or on the business side with entrepreneurship. Being able to control and have discipline surrounding what you say, why you say it, when you say it, is something that is important for us to watch out for. And I love that, because it's so true. Opening your mouth can ruin everything. So I think it's in James that says like how like the tongue is such a small thing, but it can do so much damage. And for us to be, I so love that it's a part of the wisdom teaching, because there's so much wisdom in watching what comes out of our mouths.
Yeah, I think sometimes we're so quick, especially when we think, oh, well, I mean, I have the answer. Like, I know what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
But sometimes knowing the answer, having the answers, it's not always about being right or right. Sometimes there's wisdom in holding back and not revealing things either before time, or not being necessarily the smartest person in the room.
That's good.
But understanding that sometimes it's good. It's good to wait. I like verse 10. It says, "Pride leads to conflict. Those who take advice are wise." I think when you're building on your own, or sometimes you're building with, sometimes you don't want to, you're too prideful, and it doesn't always register as pride, but you don't want to take advice from anyone.
Right.
And so it's interesting that it says, take advice. Those who take advice are wise.
Yeah.
And just understanding that taking advice doesn't necessarily mean you have to implement it, but understanding that there is wisdom in hearing people out. Also,
on what you said about that, I think it really speaks to like our ability to be teachable too.
Oh, that's
and
good.
Like never, always, if it comes to it, like preferring to be the one to take notes instead of being the one to speak. So you never, like you're saying, being the smartest person in the room or not, like having that where being teachable, that's your first step. It's not that you have the answer being the first step, but like, what can I learn here? And it's not to shrink or to like diminish yourself in an insecure way, but like becoming small is very strategic, or becoming so that you can learn from who's in the room. So I think that's a huge
That's
point
really
there.
good. Oh, go ahead.
Hey.
Go ahead. 14, the instruction of the wise is like life-giving fountain. Those who accept it avoid the snares of death. That also speaks to the taking instruction. Sometimes it's not always easy because a lot of what could be weaving in to instruction is criticism and telling you where you may not be right and where you may not be doing well in. But it's always good to take it obviously with a grain of salt,
That's true.
and not always as if you're doing something wrong, but always knowing where you possibly could be doing better.
Come on, that's good. This one, okay, I'm going to do verses 11 and 12, and then, so verse 11 says, wealth from get-rich-quick schemes quickly disappears. Wealth from hard work grows over time. We were having a conversation earlier about, I don't remember, was it today or yesterday? I don't remember, but about miracles and process. And even building wealth, like this says, building wealth over time or winning the lottery. And how usually when it comes quickly, like a miracle, it comes quickly, suddenly. If you didn't go through the process of healing or the process of deliverance, or with the lottery, you didn't go through the process of making the money, it's easier to lose what you received because you don't know how to sustain it. And it's not to say that a miracle or deliverance is a negative thing, because that's amazing. But also then, once it's happened, becoming equipped so that there's no going backwards. But it's just the wealth that's received when we go through the process of things. So like with ministry, things aren't always easy, but it's going through if God had a mega church mind for what we've been called to at our home church, and we got there all of a sudden, the things that we gained going through the process, like we wouldn't know, we wouldn't have the same thing and now does that mean that we're always excited about every day that we go through? No, not at all. But I know there's so much wealth in the midst of the process, as opposed to getting it like super quickly.
That's so good.
Yeah. And then verse 12, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a dream fulfilled is a tree of life. And on both sides, the ministry side and the entrepreneur side, there can be a lot of waiting, especially as people who believe in the promises of God, believe in the word of God, and we believe that God has said things to us or promised things, and we're waiting and we're looking. It's easy for our heart to become sick, and that'll be a whole different thing, but that from Proverbs chapter 4 about how guarding your heart with all diligence, because out of it flows the issues of life, like protecting your heart even in the midst of what you're waiting for, because of what's coming. But you want to make sure that your heart comes along without being sick in the process.
Yeah, so good. Verse 20, walk with the wise and become wise. Associate with fools and get in trouble. It's great. It's good to be in the company of the wise.
Come on. Yes, it is.
You associate with fools and get in trouble.
Yeah. So we're glad you're part of the squad, because it's a bunch of wise people. You're going to be fine. It's going to be fine.
It's been great.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, guys, I think that was it. Well, last thing, because this is huge. Verse 22. Good people leave an inheritance to their grandchildren, but the sinner's wealth passes to the godly. I think it's important for us to remember that we're not just building for the days that are here. We're building for the days that are to come, and to those that we don't even know that will be affected by our legacy, affected by the things that we leave. So don't dismiss any decision that you make, financial, ministry, relationships, all of it matters, not just for the time that we're in now, but for the legacy that we're leaving on the earth. So
Every step matters.
every step matters. Yes.
No
that's
pressure,
good.
but every step matters. Because every step takes you somewhere.
Yeah, that's good.
And it affects the road you go.
Yeah. So true, so good. So that's it from us for Proverbs chapter 13. Now it's our turn to hear from you. Down in the squad conversation, go ahead and tell us some of the things that you picked up from Proverbs chapter 13. We look forward to seeing you guys in the comments, to learning from you, and see you tomorrow for Proverbs chapter 14.